Hi, Jason Pilgrim here from the Profitable Practice podcast, where we help allied health professionals just like you empower and inspire the lives of so many more people by building bigger and better businesses. Let's go and get stuck in right now. Welcome everyone to another podcast. I have the amazing Judi Fox all the way from Virginia in America. It's nighttime there. It's daytime for us. Morning time here in Sydney. Hey, it's starting to get to that time of the night where you're getting a little bit silly. You get silly at nighttime. It's all good with all the foxes in the background and the trees, and I love it. So this could go anywhere, and I love doing.
We have no idea where this is going to go.
No, I do know the topic, and I'm not going to tell you the topic just yet, but I'm going to just ask. There's going to be two parts to this, and we'll get stuck in. And I know that you'll absolutely knock it out of the park, and you think well on your feet, and it's going to be awesome. So let's rip in. Thanks for being involved again. People love it when you've been on my podcast. So that's why I thought we better do it again.
I'm getting nervous.
Well, I'm talking you up. It's okay.
I know, but I don't know what the question's going to be. I feel like it's going to be reverse Jeopardy. We're going to give me the answer, and I have to figure out what the question was.
That's right. Grab your.
Okay.
I think last time we were talking about soda pop machines, and we're talking about popcorns and stuff like that last time. So grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be fun to watch. So I wrote it down a Post-it note. Like I did lots of prep. It's pretty cool. I want to talk to you and we'll go through right now, because obviously for those that may not know you, you should know Judi Fox. You do marketing, sales, organic, major part is obviously the organic reach and development side, business growth avenues in and around LinkedIn. That's your jam, your bread and butter. For health and medical people in and around wanting to grow, etc. I've written here, what would be the two biggest challenges that you see with businesses? And then obviously, what is the logical next step to overcome those? So let's jam on that. Is that all right?
Yeah, two biggest challenges.
So I might just talk for a couple of seconds, and when you're ready to go, the first one, you jump in.
All the automation they want to do.
Awesome. Let's go with that.
Because sometimes they want to automate. I get it. I get automation. Automation is super cool. Like automatically creating some calendar things and events and doing all that.
It's like I want to think of doing one thing and then the next 6 steps happen without me, and I've done it once. I never have to do it again.
Yeah. I just feel like they want businesses that I talk to that want to automate everything to such a degree that I'm like, did you even need the person? Like, because at some point, especially in sales, especially if you're trying to get the attention of somebody, there's a human factor. We know when we're being automated.
Yes. Yeah.
Not all the time, but almost all the time.
See, bots is a big one, right? Like you've got all your Manny chats and stuff like that. And we've got those on our websites. We have for years. I mean, we've been in this space for probably 8 years or so now. So we were a good 4 or 5 years ahead of most of the people in our industry. And it does work, and it is good to be able to give people information, in my opinion, like opening hours or specialties of team members and those type of things. But I think it got started getting to the point, absolutely, where people were trying to automate everything and almost make out it was them or their team members chatting. And it gets a bit clunky, right? Like you can't ever not get to a point where people go, oh, this is a bot, or this is, oh, okay. And
so I ran a larger account somebody who had over 4 or 5 million followers across social media. Yeah. And she had already been on Super Soul Sunday, already on the Daily Show in the US, all these major stations. And so when I was in her account, I always made sure that no matter where I moved or whatever I interacted with, I kept saying I was the team making moving any pieces of the puzzle. Now, of course, when it was her doing it, I wanted it to be her interacting and interfacing with people.
Yeah.
But if it was the team replying to something, the team moving a piece of the puzzle or doing something or changing things up, I wanted to make sure everyone knew it was the team doing it, not her.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is automation is good, and we need to automate things. We need to be able to take off the time pressures ourselves and systemize things and systematize and all these things. That's great. But we need to make sure that if we are going to have that bot or team involved, we actually keep it real and be open and transparent about who's actually doing the communication.
Yeah, I feel like this whole concept of Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean,
it's a great
that's
ideal.
Cool. Like,
Absolutely.
hello, I have it up there on my bookshelf right next to, like,
I think nearly every single
No More Sleepless Nights. I don't know why those two books are next to each other. No More Sleepless Nights and the 4-hour work week. And then Infinite Life is next to that one. And then the ROI of human capital. I'm literally leaving. Those are my book titles all next to each other. But the 4-hour work week, I think, kind of messed some people up, because I feel like, and especially with companies that get bigger and bigger and bigger, they want to remove some of the magic that was there, that was absolutely part of the reason why the company actually was successful.
Well, think about it. People want Judi Fox, right? They want Jason.
Judi Fox.
You know, like, I know that sounds weird saying they want you, they want me, but it's true, right? Like, how many times do we try and leverage that ourselves, and we try and talk to the business owner, or we talk to someone that's, you know, that is the CEO. We try and leverage networks to get higher up the food chain of that organization, because, you know, we know how deals are done, right? But we do that all the time. So if we're then the person trying to step back away from that, we've got to sort of see it that we are cause and effect.
Mm-hmm. I think the successful maybe personal brands that also do sales and marketing, and they can get on stage and they can just be their personality, but bring in the freaking attention. So we have big names that I'm sure you have names where you live. I don't even know, like, all the names out there, by the way. I just think of somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk, because he comes to mind. I've met him in person. You haven't? Never?
No, don't be silly. No, I know you very,
very well. There's so many people. I did just mention this to the Starbucks person, and they did not know who Gary Vaynerchuk was.
Oh, really?
So
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens, but anyway.
On this planet that don't know who people are. So
with obviously the rise in Clubhouse and stuff like that lately, there's been a lot of other, I guess, Americanized names and that, like Damon John and that. There's people, a lot of my colleagues here, like the vast majority of my industry aren't even on here. And, you know, like, I've been pretty prevalent for 6 or 8 weeks on there. And, you know, since last year, actually, I was on there. And the 99% of our industry haven't even heard of it yet. So it'll be interesting to see whether it really sort of takes off. And obviously we were in beta format and that type of stuff early. But seeing some of the names,
like, just because you have a big name doesn't always get you a big audience on that platform on Clubhouse. I don't mean to go into Clubhouse. Are we talking about Clubhouse? We went like.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's interesting because we've been trialing a lot of stuff, and even just looking at some of my competitors, we were doing stuff weeks and weeks before they were even on there, but test and measuring and looking at some of my colleagues in other industries and that as well, and trying to pull this apart and work out how to best leverage this on multiple different avenues. And there's been a lot of working it, making it work, and then pull back out, you know, take time and different strategies on there, because it can be a big, you know, life sucker of time. But I guess getting back onto point, what I was trying to say was, it's probably opened up eyes to, say, different Australians about some of the other people, like Damon John. People go, there's a lot of people like, who's this bloke, the Shark Tank guy, who type of thing, like no one sort of knew, because it was a very American thing. But it's an interesting scenario. So you're talking about Gary V.
Oh yeah, that he's been able to leverage however he was able to build out a team, so that way he could be his personality and not, I don't know, I guess, be held back by how much he has to work. It's like that seller doer role that a lot of companies push.
Yeah.
And I do think, and now that I've done enough business development and sales and doing that seller doer role, sometimes it's like, if you've got rock stars that are sales and you've got rock stars that can get it done in that role, why are you making them do the doer? But yet that's where the client still wants you to be in the doer role. It's definitely I find it very interesting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, there's a lot of business owners in the health and medical space. I always phrase it with them as like a seesaw, right? You know, like, they do the work, they get the work, they do the work, they get the work, and it's a seesaw going up and down, left to right, and they can't have a break.
I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. But, and then they get, they've got to do systems, they've got to automate, etc. But there has to be that human element, right?
Mhm.
Look, we've
Or
had
else
this
you
really,
crash really hard on one side of the seesaw. That's
absolutely,
the
and you're never going to
analogy.
go back up, right? So
No.
it becomes a scenario. They're way too much popcorn and soda.
Yes.
But for us, what we found has worked really well is to just be actually open and honest about it. So, like even on our websites and that, like for our health clinics, we actually have bots, and we we teach people to do this, and we get them to this so that they actually have some of the, their workflows, their automations, information, FAQs, all that type of stuff is there, right? Lead magnets and all sorts of scenarios. But we actually name our bot. So we actually have.
What's your bot's name?
Well, for one of my clinics, I have it as Harry. So it's Harry the health robot. And
Hi,
so
Harry.
when they actually come up, Harry, it's pretty cute. And we just have a little picture as well. So we don't try and be something we're not. We don't try and tell people that, how we're actually just responsive like this on Messenger with you. We're just like, no, we're not. We're actually saying, hey, we're actually with people at the moment, helping changing lives and having a great impact. But Harry's going to help you out right now is what people feel. So they actually engage with Harry and they go through and do everything. But then if they need an avenue to be able to talk directly to us and help, so we can help them out, they've got the avenue to do that.
I love that. I think you can take that also beyond that to anyone else in the field who feels like that seesaw or like trying to figure out where they can automate. I made up names for different parts of my business. So I didn't necessarily have the whole team built out.
Yep.
So I named this person in my business. I actually learned that from
so you had
a
like
podcast.
Annie, who works in the accounts department.
Yeah, but Annie doesn't have to exist.
No, that's right. Yeah.
But does Annie actually exist?
No, not for me. No.
Oh, I literally, I named people. So I had like a podcast and events and speaking manager, and she is amazing. Her name's Olivia. And then I have
my
Virginia.
first daughter's named Olivia.
Aw. And then I have Virginia, and I just named her Virginia because I live in Virginia. But the thing is, I named Virginia, and she was like my admin, personal assistant, VA. So I had 2 different people working in my business that were all just me. So
absolutely. I think I
don't know why that went there, but
no, but I think that works really well. I mean, I have 8 full-time VAs in all different specialties that work for me, and that's my inner circle. And I have a full-time EA, executive assistant, that works for me, and she's here in Australia. And that works for me, but I've got my 6 companies to a level of scale where I can afford to do that and have that, and it's a necessity. Like I can't not. Like,
yeah.
Think about imagine the amount of communications and emails and expectations on me every day. I just physically don't have the avenue to do it. So, but I guess when people are at a lower level of revenue, or they have one company and they're doing great and they're fantastic, and it's not a hierarchy of good or bad.
I have one company, but it's doing amazing.
Absolutely. And
I do have other people now, by the way, that are actually real.
Yeah.
Like real human beings.
But that's a great way to separate it, though. I think the lesson that you spoke about before is actually fantastic, so that you actually can create avenues so that people, because there is that demand, isn't there, that people want everything yesterday. Yeah. If they send an email and wanting such and such, they want you getting back to them now. And for most people in the health and medical industry, you're too busy seeing clients and trying to help other people. You don't have the ability to be wearing all hats at once. So if we get our diary right, we put the right time on your diary to get these things done, whilst you may not have the big team to take care of it, that's completely fine. Just make sure people are aware that it's being sent across to the admin department, or, that I'll get someone from the marketing team to be able to reach out, etc., and they'll get back to you as soon as possible. But
I love that.
Even with voicemails, I know this is slightly different to the automation side, but it is very, very similar. My voicemail for many years now, and again, I script it out and give it to clients, and they absolutely love it, because my voicemail on my mobile, or for you Americans, you're a cell. I literally turn around and say, "Hey, you've reached, Jason's voicemail. You might as well leave a message if it's important, because you've already paid for the phone call." I'm currently
we don't pay for the phone calls.
I know that's what I actually used to say, but what it does say now is it says, "Hi, you've reached Jason's mobile. I'm currently with someone at the moment. But if you'd like to leave your name and number, or your name if I have your number, and a brief message, I'll start working on a solution, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for calling, and have a great day." That's literally word for word.
Working on a solution.
Exactly. So now what I'm telling people straight away is I'm not available, but I'm not saying I'm not available. And so many people apologize on their voicemails. They say,
I
sorry,
know.
sorry, I can't take your call right now. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not sorry. If I'm with someone else, whether it's my family, even if it's with myself and I'm doing some reading and upskilling myself, I'm with
You're the
myself.
best client you have.
Absolutely. I want people to know that I'm busy at the moment and I just haven't screened their call, right? So I'm with someone at the moment. I get them to leave a name and number. I use a bit of my personality, etc. in that. And I'm going to work on a solution and get back to you. So I don't give them a time frame of I will call you at 12 o'clock or 4 o'clock when I check my voicemails each day. And I know people that still have that. And you
I
think,
know that goes full circle back to the 4-hour work week, thinking like I've time blocked exactly when I'm going to check my email or something. I don't know about you, but like I feel like I end up checking email a lot more than the 4-hour work week tells me I'm supposed to check it.
well, I've gone to that. This is might be a discussion for another one, but I've actually gone zero inbox. Inbox zero, not
I like that.
like, so rather than having, hang on, I just got that round the wrong way as well. So rather than having inbox zero, where people, want to get to the end of the day and I'm not finished my day until I've got nothing in my inbox. I actually learned this from a mentor of mine overseas, and he actually did it. And it took him 3 days to have this done. Actually,
What is it?
it took him 6 hours to get it done. It took me 3 days. But people thought, he thought it was going to take him weeks. So rather than having inbox zero, he said he's going to have zero inbox. In other words, he's not going to have an inbox. So what he actually did was he handed over to his EA, who was in the Philippines. It was a VA side of things. And he handed over his 3 different emails to his EA and trained over 6 hours. That's all it took him, 6 hours. So he never had to check his email. So he went through all the FAQs of what needed to be said and done. If this happens, that happens.
Can I have his FAQs?
Well, I mean, he literally has someone do it all for him and stuff like that. I mean, I can help you out with all of that because I've got all that.
I'm just kidding, but you know what I'm talking about.
It's awesome. Yeah, right. And so
that is
I do that.
Cool.
I've got 6 emails, and so I've done the same thing. And so what you do is you create like just literally one folder of something, if something's urgent, etc. And that way you have someone dealing with all of those automations, contact points, emails, etc. Because nothing urgent really ever happens on email. Let's be honest, no matter how urgent people think it is. So if you can actually take out that side of the clunkiness automation type scenario, whether it's on emails or voicemail, there's some more efficiencies and effectiveness that I've learned really well that could go nicely for you.
There's way more. There's way more where that came from you. I have so much to learn.
No. We go to. Hey, let's pull up stumps here for you'll be like, what's that mean? It's a cricket thing, a sports thing.
I like it though.
Yeah, so we're going to pull up stumps. It's stumps at the end of the day. That's what they call. They're called cricket stumps.
Let's pull up some stumps.
Wait, pull up stumps is the end of the workday type of thing. But that's we're going to pull up stumps on the podcast. Hey, thank you very much for being involved. I know technically I was going to say, well, we're going to do 2 things there, but we just sort of waffled on and gave so much value. So that's awesome. Hey, I'm going to love to have you on board again very soon, and love working with you, and talk to you very soon.
That was fun. Thank you.
See ya. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.